The views and opinions of the guest do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of BODS Mayhem Radio Network, its staff, affiliates, or sponsors. Parental discretion is advised. Welcome to BODS Mayhem Radio Network.
Hey guys, this is Wolf Hoffmann from Accept, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour. Rock on.
Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour, your source for all hard rock, heavy metal, new metal, alternative, punk, horror punk, hardcore, rock, and all local bands, with your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather.
Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather, and as always, I'm bringing you guys and gals awesome interviews. Today, it's an honor and a privilege to have one of metal's legendary guitarists and lead guitarist of Accept, Mr. Wolf Hoffmann. Accept has a new live album entitled Symphonic Terror, live in Wacken 2017, out now via Nuclear Blast Records. Going to be talking to him about that. So, Wolf, how's it going, my man?
Really well. How are you, sir? Bod?
Doing awesome, and man, glad to have you on the show finally.
Same here. Yeah, it's good to talk with you.
I really dig your guys' music. I've liked your guys' music ever since the 80s, my friend, so that's a very long time.
Really? Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Wow. You're maybe as old as I am, almost.
Well, I like music from back in the day. I like it all over the place, so I appreciate where music has came and where it's at now, so I like that. Legendary bands, including your guys, you know, they don't stop, they don't... they keep going outside that box. So thank you guys for what you guys continue to do.
Right, we're a German machine. We just keep on rolling, man. We just can't stop.
So let's jump right into this. This is a unique live show. All songs from the Rise of Chaos album were performed live for the very first time at Wacken Open Air in 2017 festival. That includes the Czech National Symphony Orchestra, a.k.a. the Orchestra of Death, as I call them. You guys played the biggest and most extraordinary show of your career in front of 80,000 fans at that festival. Plus, Plus, you guys had thousands of fans watching online via the live stream, which is pretty damn cool now.
Yeah, it's way cool.
How is this the most extraordinary show of your guys' career? Because, I mean, you guys have been doing this for a very long time, man. What is it about this show that says, yeah, this is the best or the most extraordinary one for us so far?
I mean, there were so many things that was unusual about this show. First and foremost, it was the first time that I ever played some songs of my solo album, Headbanger Symphony, with a symphony orchestra live on stage. And then, of course, we presented, like you just said, with some songs of our new album, The Rise of Chaos. But the last part of the show, the last hour, was just well-known Accept songs, but with orchestration. That's something we've also never done before. So there was a lot of unusual things about this show. And to put it all into one package or one set, basically, a three-part show like that is something we've never done before and probably never do again like that. So I'm super glad that we got the chance to film it all and to put it out on a professionally filmed DVD for the fans to see, because there was a lot of fans worldwide watching it streamed, but not everybody got a chance to do that. And even, now everybody can take it home and watch it again.
This has to be a crazy and plus I guess hard to do. You guys broke this down in 3 sections of this show. Let's talk about that,
right.
How this all came together about that. Was it hard planning this to get this all together like that?
It was quite difficult, but, it all started with a very simple idea. I was invited just to play some songs of that Headbanger Symphony album, just that stuff, instrumental stuff. And I was glad to do it at Wacken because it's the biggest metal festival in the world. And I immediately said, yes, of course I want to play that world premiere in front of 80,000 crazy metal fans. Who wouldn't?
Oh, sure.
And then somebody else said, well, it's the coincides with the release of The Rise of Chaos, the brand new Accept album. So you should play some songs of that. And of course, then we said, okay, we do that. And then once we had the orchestra there and Accept was there, and then there was a logical step to also play some Accept songs with orchestration. But we had never done that before. So we had to go back into the studio and rehearsal room and actually work out those arrangements for orchestration. And that whole process took many months, and I started working on that almost like a year prior to the show.
What has adding an orchestra to your lineup of songs, did it give you that extra oomph? And what songs for Accept did it make sense to add the orchestra to coordinate with, man? Because that had to be a little time-consuming itself to go through all that.
Oh man, it was incredibly time-consuming because you have to write down each bar and for each instrument in the orchestra, you know. So it's not a little simple task. It really takes some time. And luckily, I had some professional help from my friend Melo Mafali, who also worked with me on my solo album. So I knew he could do it, and he could do it well. But still, it took a lot of time to go through the songs and make sure, you know, each layer or each instrument of the orchestra plays the correct note at the correct time, and So it's actually quite tedious to do all that. But at the same time, when it works, it's beautiful, and it's a lot of fun. So I'm glad we got a chance to do that. And we just went through the catalog of songs and picked the ones that we felt were probably going to work best with orchestra. And, you know, there were some pleasant surprises, stuff that I didn't think would actually work as well as it did, like songs like Breaker or Fast as a Shark. I had no idea if they're going to work or not, but we tried it, and yeah. You know, you'll be the judge on this album.
I've listened to a few of these, and it's pretty amazing. I like this. I even liked Metallica's symphony that they did, and everybody gave me shit for that. I mean, folks, these are just musicians who are going outside their box, who from day one pushed that envelope.
Sure.
Kudos to you guys and everybody who's done that so far, man.
Well, thank you. And the weird thing is, I mean, everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people are using orchestras, but everybody does it slightly different.
Yeah.
It's just like everything else in life. Everything, whether it's regular rock songs, everybody does that slightly different. So, you mean, orchestration is not the same everywhere, every time. It's just different every time. And I think we did it in a very unique style of our own. And, you know, so what you hear there is my interpretation of that idea, basically.
Do you think adding the orchestra to these songs, man, gave them that extra kick in the ass, you think?
I think so. I mean, it really brought it to a different level altogether. And then there's some songs now when I don't have the orchestra on stage, I almost miss it a little bit because it, you know, when it's done right, it really brings it up to another level.
Yeah.
It enhances the song without getting in the way. And that's the magic trick, basically. You know, it shouldn't get in the way. And it shouldn't be all the way in the background either. It should be somewhere contributing to the song, something that wasn't there before without, like I said, getting in the way.
Playing at Wacken, I know this is a huge festival for you guys overseas, which I would love to get over there to see just because the fans over there seem like they get it more better than us over here in the U.S. I'm not knocking everybody over here in the U.S., but they just do. Was it challenging to set up for your guys' set to record at Wacken for this, man?
No, well, the recording part, that's fairly simple nowadays with technology and such. And as a matter of fact, we record just about every show that we do. I mean, not with cameras, but audio. But the whole logistics of playing at a festival with an orchestra is it's daunting because you don't really can set up on stage and do your sound check and leave everything there. No, it's not like that. You really have to run on stage pretty much and hope everything works. You don't get much of a rehearsal time or setup time and any of that kind of stuff. So it's a little nerve-wracking to say the least.
Wolf, what do you hope the fans take away from your music or just this album, or message you hope that they hear while listening to just any of this from you guys?
I don't know. There's no message. It's really just entertainment, and I hope people enjoy it and maybe see a little bit of a different side of music. I mean, it's even your typical metal fan is probably going to appreciate the fact that there's some different sounds and different elements on this album or on this live DVD, basically. You know, but we're not. I mean, people sometimes ask me, are you trying to bring the two worlds together and want to get fans into the classical side of things? Not really. I mean, that wasn't my intention. I have always loved classical music. I've always been a huge fan. So to somehow do something like that has been a lifelong dream, and hopefully fans enjoy it also as much as I did.
So what are the fans going to get when they come out to see you live or accept live at one of these shows, man? What are they going to get when they come to see you guys?
Oh, man, we're going to play similar shows like that all around the world next year, and hopefully we can come to the U.S. and do some of these shows here. Right now we're starting in Europe, and for the fans who are coming out to those, it's going to be like an evening, like unlike anything they've ever seen from Accept. I mean, it's definitely going to be more of a concert-type venue. It's going to be at a symphony hall and places where you don't normally get to see a metal band. So, and plus with an orchestra, and I think it's going to sound even better indoors than it did at Wacken. So it's going to be quite an experience.
In your own opinion, Wolf, what does Accept bring to the table for music that's not out there as of right now? I mean, I know you guys are not reinventing the wheel, but what do you guys bring that's not out there possibly?
I don't know. It's not up to me to decide that. We just do what we do, and fans seem to appreciate it. I think, we're pretty much handmade metal, old school stuff that fans have liked for a long time, and it's got a lot of staying power. I mean, people have written it off many times, but we're still here and doing it, and there's still a market for it. So it's something that doesn't seem to go away, even though it is seemingly old school, and that's what's cool about it, I think.
These guys have been around since the 80s, and they're still doing it still to this day from the 80s, so that speaks volumes for what this band has done, man.
Well, I mean, if you like what you do, it's going to work out in the end. But if you try to change with it every year and try to adapt to the market every year, then it's going to be harder in my mind. So we've had a very consistent last 10 years. We've made great studio albums, and everyone is more successful than the one before, and so we're on the right path. People seem to really appreciate what we're doing. And we're having a blast doing it. So,
what made you want to become a musician, Wolf? What was that spark for you that said, "Yeah, that's what I want to do"?
Good question. I just had this dream, and I was just fascinated with playing guitar and playing in a band. I was never the type of player that gets a kick out of playing alone. I've always been fascinated about playing in a band and sort of being in a team of other guys and getting better together. And, that's always been the kick for me. And it's just touring around the world and doing something that fans appreciate like they do. And that is something that's magic. And it still is all these years later. I've stepped away from the music for a little bit and did other things in life. But man, there's nothing like it in the world that I found that gives you the same satisfaction.
Like I said, man, I'm a huge fan of you guys, and I truly appreciate what you guys have continued to do for the metal community. How can folks stay in touch with you guys? We'll pick up this new album.
Symphonic Terror on Nuclear Blast out right now. Go and get it while it's hot.
Before I let you go, good sir, would you please do a promo for the show?
Yeah, man. Hey, guys, this is Wolf Hoffmann from Accept, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour. Rock on.
Everybody stick around. We got some great music coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour and BODS Mayhem Radio Network. Please check out our Facebook page. Our podcast link is also on there, and our YouTube page is on there. And please go out and check out Accept's page and pick up their new album, Symphonic Terror, live in Wacken 2017 via Nuclear Blast Records. Thank you so much, Wolf. I appreciate it, man.
You bet. My pleasure.